Hey my lovelies, I hope you're all safe and well. It's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do March's Tarotscope video for you all. Can't believe we're in March already. I'm really hoping that there's a bit of a shift, there's a bit of a change with the energies in terms of the weather. I mean, it's great that we're starting to get into the springtime now and everything else, but it'd be lovely if we get actual like some sun and some sort of warmer weather, because I think like a lot of people just fed up of this rain, you know. A lot of people are feeling a bit stressed, a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit fed up. It's been a very wet winter, hasn't it? And it's been quite a hard time. But let's see what March has in store. Let's see what March has to offer. So as ever, I'll be working with Tarot of the Old Path to do our opportunities, our obstacles, and any lessons coming in. And then we'll follow through with an overall theme for March with my Wizard Within Oracle deck. And hopefully this will help, it will resonate, and it will make a bit of sense. So these are the cards. Let's give them a knock, let's give them a tap, let's give them a quick shuffle. Let's just see where the energies are taking us for March. So channeling these cards for the highest of good. Let's see what we need to know about. Interesting. Oops. Okay. Very interesting cards indeed. Ooh, okay. So, let me just put these to one side. So the first card then that we've got coming in, this is our opportunities. We've got the Wise One. Now the Wise One is the equivalent in this deck to the Hermit in conventional tarot. So the Hermit card is about slowing down, it's pausing, it's looking at stuff, and sometimes it's pulling back from things. Sometimes with the Hermit card or the Wise One, we need to just get our bearings. We need to just stop and we need to just figure things out a little bit. Often, you know, this is a time of solitude when this card shows. So it may be for some of you that throughout springtime and sort of March, you're just pausing. So maybe there's going to be, maybe there has been quite a lot of stop and start going on, but maybe there's a bit of a continued theme of just pausing, just look at your choices, look at your options before you move forward. If some of you have been really burning yourself out or pushing yourself too hard, where the opportunities comes in of this, maybe we're needing to just pause, maybe we're needing to stop and just be still to gather our thoughts, to gather our bearings. So I think this is quite an important time throughout March to really process energy, not necessarily to go in all guns blazing and all sort of, you know, full steam ahead. It's more a time to process, to analyze, to really think carefully about how you want to make the energies around you serve and work best for you. So that's quite an interesting card to show, actually. Also with the Wise One, he has the cloak on. So I always see like this as a bit of a cloak of protection. So if you've been feeling vulnerable from a sort of practical space, maybe you've been feeling quite ill or quite run down. I know I have really been struggling. I feel like this cloak is coming in to offer us some sort of safety around health. But it could be as well that maybe you're being cloaked from other areas of your life. So there could be some spiritual protection that maybe has to happen and everything else, and maybe you're being cloaked in that way. So that's quite an interesting card to show. Now, as we're sort of moving into any of our kind of obstacles card, we're moving into the Eight of Pentacles. Now, as a rule, Eight of Pentacles is head down, it's getting on with it, it's doing what you need to do in order to sort of get the job done, really. Comes in a lot when we are sort of focusing on work and other areas of our life. So because this is coming in as a sort of bit of an obstacle, maybe sort of for some of us, work is going to feel a little bit compromised. Maybe some of you are in spaces where you don't feel like your job is serving you completely, and maybe there's the thoughts and feelings and the realizations of what do you really want to be doing with your life. Maybe this is a time to start to really open up a bit more and sort of look and see if this work is serving you, or if possibly you need to sort of maybe make some sort of personal changes that might better your energy. It could be for some of you that are maybe self-employed. March might feel like it's a little bit stop-start. It could feel like, you know, maybe finances or abundance are not as freely available as you would hope or like. But don't lose your bearings. Don't sort of get too caught up in it, because it feels like it's a temporary thing. It doesn't feel like it's a permanent thing. I think a lot of people are very, very cautious about spending money at the moment, and I'm going to go on to talk about something after I've done this reading very quickly, which is a bit of a theme with this particular card. So yeah, just don't get caught up too much in the materialistic world. Don't allow it to get the better of you. And what's remembering with 8 of Pentacles, so think of the number 8. If I was to draw the number 8, it's literally got no start, no middle, no end. It's about everything evolving and continuing to flourish and flow. It's the infinity symbol. So this might be something that is a little bit hindered in recent times, but it will still flow. It will still come back good again, even if it's feeling a little bit temporarily blocked. So just be cautious with finances throughout March time a little bit. And the lessons, essentially keep moving forward, guys, because we've got the 10 of rods. 10 of rods is the same as the 10 of wands in conventional tarot, and this is kind of looking at what you're holding on to. Look at what you're carrying. Does it work for you? Does it serve your highest good? Is it actually robbing your mental health? Is it causing a little bit of a disturbance or a bit of a disruption? And if you don't need to be carrying it, sling it out, let it go, move forward lightly. So don't sort of place burdens or expectations or heaviness on yourself and take things into a restrictive or a negative space, because often, you know, often things are not blocked, or they're not as bad as they feel, but it's like where we put so much pressure, so much expectation upon ourselves, sometimes we choose to carry quite a lot of weight that perhaps doesn't need to be there. So give yourself permission to lighten your load in an energetic way if you need to, not in a dirty way, because that sounded really wrong then, and I don't mean it in a bad way. Okay, so I hope that those make a little bit of sense. We'll follow through with one of my oracle cards, and we'll see if this gives us any more insight, any guidance. So channeling these for the highest of good. Let's see what March's overall theme is, if you like. Okay, interesting. We've got the drinking horn. The drinking horn is about kind of revitalization, actually. It's about sometimes feeling sort of energetically or spiritually dehydrated. So the drinking horn is actually about refreshing. It's about sort of refueling. It's almost like for some of us, maybe we feel like we haven't got enough petrol in our sort of personal petrol tank at the moment, and we're needing to refill. So make sure throughout March time you're putting yourself first. Make sure that you are making healthy choices and healthy decisions, and that includes things like the foods you're eating, the water that you're drinking, you know, or what you're choosing to drink in general. Maybe if some of you are having a bit of a bad run of bad habits, it's starting to look at those things and think, do they serve, do they work? And if you know that they don't, start to make changes, even if it feels a bit uncomfortable or not so you know, not that nice to have to do. You know, not so much now, but before Christmas I went through a stage where I was drinking quite a lot of alcohol, and I know that it wasn't in my best interest, so I've already pulled back a little bit compared to what I was having. And it's owning your truth, it's owning your stuff. But the drinking horn is all about feeling a little bit dehydrated and having to just own it, having to be real, having to be honest with yourself. So if you know that there are energies that are not serving and working for you, you know, move those things along. That might be why we've got that wise one or that hermit card there, just to review a few things and be really honest with yourself. Because sometimes we can love the idea or the temptation of something, but sometimes our higher self knows that's not going to give us the best experience if we go for that. So sometimes I love to have a little drink, but I also know that, is this going to actually work? Is this going to serve me the next day, or am I going to come off worse for having this? It's weighing up things. But definitely, you know, the drinking horn often is about dehydration. So make sure you're fueling yourself in the ways that you need to, whether it's spiritually, physically, practically. If you're just someone that's not drinking very much water, start to increase the intake of that. So I hope that makes sense. So March is going to be interesting. So March is actually wanting us to become more revitalized and more whole again, which makes sense with a lot of people feeling ill with these winter bugs and everything else. So it is almost a lot of TLC, a lot of kind of love and care, really. So it's feeding back into our spirit, our soul, and our sort of physical body. So I hope you can make a bit of sense of these. I just wanted to say a very quick shout to let you know about some dates, because I never know what people know about what people are seeing and what's getting missed, because Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all these social platforms, sometimes I think they block a little bit what's actually happening. So I just wanted to remind you that my tour is in full flow. I did Sherborne the other day, which was an amazing night. So thank you so much if you came to the Sherborne date. I think that's been one of the best demos, one of the best shows I've done for quite a long time. So we've got Glastonbury happening in March. So that's happening on Saturday, the 16th of March. I'm going to be over at the West Pennard Village Hall. I've done that a couple of times now, and it's always a beautiful night. So if you want to come and see me in Glastonbury, do buy a ticket. That's going to be the only date for Glastonbury this year. So do come along and support that night if you're able to. It'll be lovely to see you there. I'm also going to be in Bath at the end of March on Saturday the 23rd, and that's going to be over at Bath Mill Lodge. I know tickets are now limited for that. There's not many left. So if you're thinking of coming along, but you're still a bit unsure, a bit umming and ahhing, don't delay, buy a ticket. That's an intimate venue. It only holds about 60 in total, so it's quite a small night. So yeah, make sure if you want to come to that you've purchased a ticket. The other thing I wanted to say very quickly is Saturday the 27th of April, I'm going to be over at the King's Theatre in Gloucester. Now this night, guys, does need some support. I've been asked for the longest of times, please come to Gloucester. It's been ages since you last demoed there. It would be great to see you. I've been really lucky to secure a theatre, and so now I do need your support. I'm not going to beg. I don't ever beg. I always feel the people that are meant to be at my nights will be there. But I want to say, guys, with any of the theatres particularly, the theatre has a program schedule that's got to sort of work by. It has a sort of like a target system. So it's got to reach a certain number of tickets. And I think I've only sold 10 tickets for that night. I think it holds about 160 to 200. It's quite a big audience venue. So it's a simple case of if that night isn't supported, it won't be me pulling the plug. It will be the venue that pulls the plug on it if they don't reach at least half of the the theatre sort of capacity. So if you're thinking of coming to the Gloucester night but you haven't purchased a ticket yet, but you want to come along, I know a lot of people have put that they're interested on my Wix page. It's great to show your interest, and it's great that you've put that you're interested, but unless a ticket is bought, really it's a case of come and support, otherwise you're going to lose it. And unfortunately I've had to pull the plug in previous years with previous tours where places just weren't being supported. I would hate for that to happen for Gloucester, but if it doesn't sort of increase in sales, I am letting you know now, the theatre will literally pull the plug on it, and it'll be refunds, which I hate to have to do because I want to come along and see you guys there as well. So if you're able to get to that night, please purchase a ticket. It would be amazing to see you there. And if we find that it's not meant to be, it will be a case of it's not meant to be. But I'm really keeping fingers crossed that people start to support that and get behind it. So if you're umming and ahhing, get a group together, come along and see me. You never know, you might get a beautiful message from a loved one in spirit, and it might make it all worthwhile coming for. So have a great March, look after yourselves, and I will look forward to seeing you guys either on Zoom or via Facebook or at the various dates that are happening or somewhere on my tour. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.